Hello everyone, welcome again to another tutorial on how to make this beautiful beaded jewelry box. Please subscribe, like, and also share my videos to friends and family who might find this video very helpful. Thank you, and let's get started. I have here some pearls. I have a metallic gold bead, and they are all in 6mm pearls and metallic bead. I have here some fishing line to start with. That's what we are going to use, okay? So let me push this bead aside and let's get started. We are going to start with 4 beads. It's going to be 4 flower beading. So I string my 4 bead on the line and I'm going to hold the other end and go through the last bead. This is 4 bead. Hold the other end and go through the last bead and pull like this. We have 1 flower down and we are going to continue. On each line, I'm going to put one bead on each line like this. Then I'm going to take the third one. Is 4 flower beading, so we have 1 in common and now we have to be adding 3, 3, 3. So I'm adding this one, crossing both ends of my line into it and pull. We have 2 flowers down. This is how it's looking like. On each line, one bead, and I'm going to take the third one, cross both ends of my line into it and pull like this. This is how it's looking like. So we are going to continue with this and make 6. I'm going to make 6 of these flowers. This is 6 that I made, and I'm going to continue again with the gold bead. This time I'm going to continue with gold. So one on each line and crossing both ends of my line into the third one and pull like this. I'm going to repeat this again. I add one on each line. Then I'm crossing both ends of my line into it and pull. This is how it's looking like. We started with gold again. And we are going to make 4 flowers with the gold. This is the 4th one I'm going to make over here. Now I'm crossing both of my line into pearl, 1 pearl, like this. So we have 4 gold and this 6 pearl we start with. So we are going to continue with 6 pearls again. I'm going to continue with pearls. This is the first one and the second one I'm making. Like this. This is the 3rd flower I'm making over here. We are going to use the same technique throughout the entire weave. Okay, so I'm just crossing both of my ends of my line into this bead and I'm pulling it down. So I'm going to go ahead and make 5 flowers. So on the 5 we are going to turn. I'm going to make 5, okay? Then we'll turn on the 5 to make 6 and then we start a new row. So here is how it's looking like now. I make 5 flowers and we are going to turn on this 5. This is 5, okay? And I'm going to turn on it, this line, 3 bead. So I'm turning on this 5 to make 6. So my line can turn on the side for me to continue with a new row. Like this. This line, 3 bead. I'm going to start a new row with 3. And I'm going to continue with adding 2 bead to my line. So I'm going to go to the next bead, add 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 bead. I'm going through the edge bead and adding 2 bead. This is how it's looking like. You're just going to continue to make the rest. Into the next bead, add 2. And the same thing we are going to repeat. The pattern, the metallic bead, I'm going to add metallic to it. So we have the metallic in the middle. It's like you are weaving and then designing at the same time. So make sure you don't mix up the bead. You continue with the same color of bead at where it's supposed to be. Into the next bead, 2 bead. This time I pick 1 gold and 1 pearl. Then I'm going to continue with only pearls. This is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful starting. It started beautifully. Now we have 4 in the middle and we are going to continue and end. And I'm going to add 2 bead over here, 10 on the side, and then we start another new row. This line, 2 bead. I add 2 bead to my line. So my line can turn on the side and now start a new row. This line, I'm adding 3 bead. I add 3 bead to my line and I'm crossing in the last bead and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead. Two bead. I add 2 bead. This is how it's looking like. We are going to continue to weave into the next bead. I'm adding 2 bead to my line. Cross the other line into the last bead and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead. So I'm going to continue to the end of this one and start another row. We are going to make 6 rows in all. And here's my 6th row that I made. Okay, if you count, it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 row. And what we are going to do here, I'm going to continue with another row, but this time we are going to use gold bead. 3 gold. I'm going to enter the next bead, this line into the next bead. Add 2 bead to it. Into the next bead, 2 bead. I'm going to continue to make the first row over here. So in all, I'm using only gold bead over here on this row. Weaving through and then adding 2 bead. I'm just going through the edge bead, all the edge bead, and adding 2 bead to my line. 2 gold. Into the next bead. 2 bead. We are going to go ahead and then add 2 bead Go through the edge bead and add to 2 beads to complete this row. Add 2 beads, and we are about to complete this row. I'm going to the last bead and I complete that one, so I'm starting with another row like this. Go to the next bead, add 2 beads. So I'm going through the next bead, go all the way to the end, make another one. That will be 3. So 1, 2, 3. I make 3 rows over here. These are 3 rows that I made, and then we are going to make the 4th one. So I'm starting with the 4th row, and I add 1 gold, 1 pearl, and 1 gold. That is how we are going to pick the bead. Into the next bead, 1 gold, 1 pearl first, and add gold to it. I'm going to go to the next, and I'll pick 1 pearl and 1 gold. One pearl first and take gold bead. Continue. We are going to continue in the middle. Okay, now we continue with the 6. Now over here we are going to continue with 4 gold over here. We are not going to add the pearls. We continue with gold. I'm going to go into the next bead. We are going to add only gold bead over here. Only gold bead. Like this. Go to the next one and add 2 gold bead. I'm taking my time so everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to go through the next bead, and I'm adding 1 gold and 1 pearl. You see how in beading it's so easy to make a mistake? The pearl should not supposed to be there. If I don't realize it, I'll just continue to weave and complete before I know I put the wrong one there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it and put 2 gold bead instead. Okay, 2 gold bead. Now let's continue. But there's nothing wrong with making mistake. We learn from it. Okay, into the next bead. Now 1 pearl and 1 gold bead. That's all we are going to pick. Into the next bead, 1 pearl and 1 gold. This is how it's looking like. So I'm going to go through all the edge bead and add 2 bead to it. Continue with the same technique, picking 1 pearl and add gold bead to it. And now we are going to continue and complete this row. Then we turn and continue with the pearl. Some of these bead holes are very small, so I'm picking 1 gold and 1 pearl to turn my line on the side so I can continue with a new row. Okay, this is how it's looking like. What we are going to do, We are going to create this side. What we create over here, we are going to make 6 the same way we did the first. Create 6 on this side too. We are going to do the same thing, repeat it over here. And if you are done, this is something what you should have. Okay, this is how it should look like. We have all gold in the middle and we have the pearls on the side. So if you complete, this is what you should have. And now we are going to go ahead and build on this shape that we created. Let me get some line. I'm going to go through the edge bead, this edge bead. I'm pulling my line through the edge bead over here. And we are going to start with 3 beads, 3 pearls. We are going to use the same technique and the same design. I start with 3 beads. We are building up, okay? Up on this design. I'm going to go through the next bead. And I'll be adding 2 beads. Into the next bead. Two bead. Into the next bead. I'm adding 2 beads. We are using the same technique to complete this row. So I'm going to go ahead, go through all the edge bead and add 2 beads to it. I'm going to build on it round. So here we are going to continue with gold. I'm going to continue over here with the gold. I'm going to go to the next gold and add 2 gold. So with this design we are making, wherever there is gold, we are going to go ahead and continue to be adding gold over there and build on it. But feel free and use your own choice of colors. The colors that you want for the bead, you can go ahead and use your own. You don't have to use pearl and gold that I'm using. Use the choice of your color that you want, okay? So I'm just adding 2 beads over here. And now I'm going to go through the next bead and add 1 gold and 1 pearl. I'm adding 1 gold and 1 pearl over here so I can continue into the pearl again. Into the next bead, 2 bead. Into the next bead, add 2 bead. Go into the next one, 2 bead. I'm using 6mm because I don't want too much holes in the weave, so that anything, if you put your jewelry in it, it will fall down. That's why I'm using 6mm to make the space a little closer. This is how it's looking like. This is how the weave is looking like. I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 bead to it. 2 bead. So this is how, into the next bead. So if you reach the corner, just go into the next bead and continue from there. Continue round the shape that we created. So this is how the weave is looking like. We are going to build on it, go round the shape until you complete it. And here it is. I go around the shape 1 time. This is 1 row that I made over here. So let me show you how we are going to step up and then build on this one. Okay, now my line is here and I'm going to go through my last bead. Into the last bead, I'm going to go to this last bead over here on the shape. Then I go to the side bead over here. That means I go through 2 beads, and I'm going to add only 1 bead to complete my row. 1 bead. Now we have our line on top, and we have to continue with another row again. So here it is, this line, 3 bead. I add 3 bead to my line to start another roll over here, crossing the other end of my line into it and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead. The same pattern, the same design. We are going to continue throughout the entire weave. This is how it's looking like. I want you to continue to make 8 rows in all. Okay, this is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful design. We're going to continue, and I'll make 8 rows on it. Okay, now I complete my 8th row. We did first, and I make 7 more on it. So this is 8 in all. 8. So let me show you how we are going to design the edge, because when the lead is on it, I'm going to go through this bead over here. Just go through any bead, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to go pull my line through this bead. Then I'll start weaving. This time, I'm going to weave inward. I'm adding 3 bead to my line. 3 bead. And I'm crossing the end of my other line into this and pull. Into the next bead, we are going to build on the edge of this one, so that when the lid closes, it will close on it nicely. Beading is just a creativity. You create. Two bead. I'm weaving in the inside. And this one not up, but I'm weaving it into the inside. So I'm going to build the edge for this shape. 2 bead. Into the next bead, I'm going to continue to go ahead and weave on this. This time we are weaving only with the pearls. Only with the pearls. So we are not adding any gold into this. This is how it's looking like this. I'm weaving inward and not outward. This is how it's looking like. The edge, we are building the edge for it. And now I'm in the corner over here. So I'm going to go through 2 bead in the corner. This and this one. My line is going to go through the 2 bead over there. This is the first. And this is the second bead I'm going to go through. So in this corner, I'm going to add only 1 bead to my line. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this 1 bead and pull. Like this. This is how the corner is looking like. Now, I'm going to go to the next bead and continue to add 2 bead. 2 bead. Into the next bead. Into the next bead. Add 2 bead. I'm going to go ahead, continue to the next corner, okay? Two bead. just adding two bead over here, and I'm left with, so this is the last one. Then we get into the corner again. I'm going to the last bead here, then we go into the corner. So in this corner again, I'm going to go through 2 bead, this and this one. I'm going through the corner, 2 bead in the corner, pulling my line through 2, this and this one. And here I'll be adding only 1 bead. Into the next bead, then I'll continue to add my 2 bead until I reach the next corner. Then I go into 2 and add 1 bead, 2 bead. So from here I'm going to go ahead, continue round. So let's go ahead, continue round. Remember the corners and go through 2. This is how it's looking like. Continue the edge. This is the edge we are making for it, for the lid to sit on it nicely. And here is complete. It is a complete edge, okay? And the lid is going to sit on it nice. Here is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful design, very pretty. Here is the lid, and I made the lid to how we started the same way, okay? The same number of beads we create for the base. This is what I did, and I made 1 row. When I made 1 row, I come inward 1 time, so I made the edge over here too. This is how it's looking like, and now we are going to put it on it. What I'm going to do, I don't want the lid to be falling down when you want to take something, so we are going to attach the lid, make a little attachment to it, to attach it to the main box. So let me show you how we are, so that it can open like this. It can open and close, open and close. It doesn't have to be falling down. That's how I want to design it, okay? So we are going to go ahead and then attach it to the main box to be opening and close. This bead, I'm going to go through this edge bead. I'm just pulling the line through the edge bead. Then I'm going to add 1 bead to my line. Add 1 pearl to the line. And then into the bead on the box. This one. We are going to pick a row and go through them, all the edge bead. We are going to go through them. Now I'm picking another bead and crossing both ends of my line into it and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead, okay? I'm just pulling to make everything adjust very well. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to hold this line, go to the next bead, and I'm going to pull the line through this bead on the lead. I'm going to take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Cross both ends of my line and pull down. That's how we are going to join it together. I'm going to go through the next bead on the box, and I'm going to hold this one and go through the next bead on the lead, this one. Then I'm going to take one bead, cross both ends of my line into it, and pull. That is how we are going to join these two pieces together, the lid onto the box like this. Make sure you pull your line tight. This is how we are going to join in to here. This is where we stop. And now we're done joining it together. This is how it looks like. You can close it and open it. This is how the opening is. Close, open. That way it's not gonna fall. Look at how beautiful it looks like. Very, very beautiful jewelry box. So this line, I'm going to weave it back into the bead and trim it off. And this is how our box is looking like. And it is very nice if we put a closure on it. Okay, look at how the design, and it's closed perfectly on it. How we made the edge, it make it close nicely. So with this, I'm going to use this pearl on it for closure. Just attach it to it, make some loop, and then we'll make closure for it. So this is 18mm I'm going to use, 18mm pearl. And here is a little bit I'm going to put on the line to use as a stopper bead for my bead. So I put two ends together and I'm going to go through the pearl. Hold both ends together and pull it through the pearl like this. This is used is just help as a stopper bead, okay, so that the line will not slip through it. What I'm going to do, so before we attach it to the bag, let's add one gold bead to it so we can hide the line into the gold bead when we attach it to the bag. I'm going to add one onto the other end too, like this, okay, like this. So I'm going to find a middle of this one, and I'm going to cross both ends into my line into this bead over here. Pull it through, and I'm going to pull this one through the opposite way. I'm just crossing the lines into that bead and pull and pull tight, and it's going to land perfectly in the middle like this. So this is how it's looking like. Did you see how the two bead is hiding the line over there? This is how it's. I'm just going to weave the rest of this line into the bead over here. I'm going to weave it around and then trim it off very beautifully. Very, very beautiful jewelry box. Get your bead color, whatever you want. This is how it's looking, very firm and nice. And now I'm going to make a loop so that we can hook on the bead. Let's make the loop. I'm going to get another line. Let me cut another fresh line, and I'm putting one bead on the line. I'm going to hook one bead on the line like this. This is my bead that I put on the line, and I'm pulling two ends together and go through the middle bead. You have to measure your middle and then go through it like this. Then I'm going to open the line like this. Make sure it's it doesn't slip through the bead. That is why we put a stopper bead over there. So I'm going to open my line like this, and I'm going to string some bead on it. Just string maybe 8 or 10, whatever, depends on whatever you are using. If you are using a button that is wide, when you string your bead, measure it to see if it fits, if you can close on it or hook on it. So I'm just stringing my bead with a number. I'm just testing to see if it fits. Now I'm going to hold it and tie. This is the number I put on it. I think it's 8 on each side. And I'm going to hold it like this and then tie. Tie nice and neat. Take your time and tie in between the beads, not on the bead. I'm pulling tight and I'm just tying over here in between the bead. And I'm going to go through the bead in a circle. I'm just going to go through all these beads all the circle. Okay, I'm going around this circle of bead. Make sure it's well tight and secured before I trim it off. This is very beautiful design, and I'm done. And here, this is how you close it. You just hook it on the whatever you use. I'm hooking it on my pearl, and it's done. So here is the bow that I made. I made this bow, okay, but I think it's too plain. I'm going to add a little gold in the middle, so I'm going to change the middle to be gold. Yeah, I think this looks better. This is how the box is looking like, and I'm going to hook my bow on top of it to help as a top. If I want to open it, I hold it and then open the jewelry box. That is how I want to design it. Very beautiful. I'm going to attach it like this. You can choose to attach it anyhow you like. You can make it straight or diagonal, like this or like this. Make it like this. So I'm just going to attach it on it. This is how it's looking like, very beautiful. If you don't know how to make this bow, I have a video on it, and I'm going to link it in the description box, that you can click on it and then make your bow. So this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful jewelry box that you can make yourself at home. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to my channel and also share my videos to friends and loved ones. Please, I'll see you again in my next video. Take care and bye.